There are many options exist when it comes down to deploying your React application. Vercel, Netlify, Firebase, and AWS, to name a few. My personal choice for the last few years was Netlify. So let's say I have built this beautiful React counter application and I'm ready for the world to see it. And the first version would be a manual deploy. But in order to deploy manually, you need to build a website first. Since my counter application is a very simple React application made through Vite, the first thing I'm going to do is to run npm run build, which will create a dist folder with the index.html and 2 assets, which would be a CSS file and JavaScript file containing the application itself. I then would go to the Netlify website. I assume you are logged in. Then I will click Add New Site, Deploy Manually, and I will just drag and drop the dist folder like that. Since I already built the application, there is nothing for Netlify to do except to just start serving it. So I can click Open Production Deploy, and here's my counter application. Beautiful. So now my mom can enjoy incrementing and decrementing numbers. Isn't that fun? But deploying manually will get me this far, so I will just delete this guy. And what I will do instead, I will add a new site, import an existing project, deploy with GitHub. In my case, I have configured so that Netlify doesn't see all my projects, but only selected ones. And I will select this deploy React sample, which is that application. I can give my site some fancy name, but I'm fine with whatever Netlify generates. Then I need to pick a branch to deploy. And you don't want to pick a main branch because you don't want to deploy every single time you push to the branch. So for that reason, I have created another branch called prod. Only when I push to the prod or when a pull request to a prod is made, only then the website will be deployed. Base directory I will leave blank because base directory corresponds to the root directory of my application. I can tweak a build command, but in my case it will be just npm run build. Then we need to pick directory to deploy, where all those files will be accumulated, and in my case it's a folder dist. Since I don't use any Netlify functions, I just ignore this field. And now I just click deploy React sample. Now if I go to deploys, we can actually see that Netlify starts to build application. Since previously I have built locally on my machine, but now it builds when a push is made to the branch, or in this case, since it just instantiated the repository to build from, it needs to make this initial kind of build. So it built and deployed somewhere on Netlify server. We can see that the same dist folder with assets index.html was made. So now I can open production deploy again, and it's the same counter application. Beautiful. Every time I push prod branch, it will automatically create a deploy process on Netlify. And after building application, if the build was successful, the website will be automatically published. If I don't want it to automatically publish, I can click this log to stop auto publishing button. And in that case, it will be built. You can preview the website, but it's not going to be automatically published. But let's say I have built now this more sophisticated version that uses React Router DOM to add some routing to the application. I have a home page which shows the counter itself, but also I have an about page that tells what this website is about. And now I'm ready for the world to find out what this application was about. So I will create this new branch called add about page. I will add my changes, commit them, and now I'm going to push this branch. And if I go to the GitHub, I see this new add about page branch. So I will create a pull request from add about page to prod branch. So now actually what has happened is that Netlify bot kicked in, and it kicks in whenever we make this pull request to the branch that is specified on Netlify we want to publish, which creates this deploy preview, which I can click and see my new beautiful application. And on Netlify, I see this deploy preview. Now, if I merge this pull request, a production deploy for that pull request kind of kicks in and the new version will be deployed. But there is one little problem that I need to show you. That let's say I'm gonna copy this link and I will open a new tab in the browser and I will paste this link and I will go there, page not found. Why has that happened? The reason it's happening is because when I have put address/about in the URL, what browser does, it will ask the Netlify, give me the about page. But Netlify has no idea what is this about page. because the only thing it has is index.html, because it's a single page application with the routing that is handled on the client side. If you ask React application itself, because it handles the all routing inside, it kind of uses the browser API to understand that you're trying to access deep page of your website, but from the Netlify server perspective, it has no idea where to find that page because no such page exists. And to solve this problem, there is no user interface, but what we should do is that we should create a Netlify TOML file. It will be a configuration file for Netlify. So in the root folder of my application, where the package.json file is, I will create a Netlify TOML file, and in this Netlify TOML file, I will put this redirects from all the pages to index.html with the status to 100. Then, to demonstrate another way, I will switch to the prod branch. I will merge main branch, and then I'm going to push the prod branch. Pushing to the prod branch didn't result in creating the deploy preview like it was with the pull request, but it immediately starts the production deploy. Since I didn't turn off the auto publishing, it will also auto publish. So now it has been published. So now if I navigate to the deeply linked page, like about page, or I just hard refresh that page, I will be able to see that page. Because now when the request comes to the Netlify server, give me the about page, it will check its configuration file. It will see that, oh, by the way, any pages redirect to index.html. And since the index.html contains the whole application in this main JSX bundle, it will also contain the React Router DOM that will figure out that how to navigate from the home page to the about page. And that's about it from me for today. Thank you for watching, and until the next time.